This is going to be interesting. Let's see how this turns out. So, yeah, much like some of my other videos where I talk about what would go with this character, what would go with that character, I kind of think, I was kind of thinking, you know, what would be interesting if the characters from RWBY got different teachers from outside the universe? So maybe this will be another thing I do on occasion, not constantly, but like just on occasion every now and again if I ever get the idea to. But let's see how this goes. So basically what it is, I'm going to look at the core main characters of RWBY and talk about what characters would be best suited to teach them and what they could learn from each character. So let's get started with RWBY herself. So Ruby Rose, who would be her teacher? I thought about it and thought Yoda would probably be the best pick for her. Of course, Yoda from Star Wars. I think what would be interesting for her to learn from Yoda is that Yoda would be a hands-on teacher, but at the same time let her figure out things for herself, while at the same time being very very strict. He wouldn't be strict with her, but he would have a firm teaching hand on her. He'd also, like, teach her that, yeah, those silver eyes of yours are powerful, but don't go wielding around like a loose cannon, you know? I think he would teach her how to, like, condense the power of the silver eyes or something of that nature. And also I think he would teach her, you know, not to be as reckless as she is and not, tap into her, into her semblance, like, just on a whim. I think he would teach her, fast you are, but are you smart? Not fast as thought you're not. You are not. I can't do... I used to be really good at doing Yoda, but, fuck, not good now. Anywho. So Yoda, I think, would be the best pick for, RWBY. Moving on now to Yang. And Yang was an interesting one, but then I thought, you know what? Yang would probably benefit the most from this teacher. And that teacher is none other than Iroh from, of course, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, Iroh would definitely have a tough time teaching Yang, but it's no different from teaching Zuko. If anything, I think Yang would be more open to Iroh's teachings than Zuko at the beginning. But Iroh would definitely look at Yang and how she perceives her anger and how she, deals with that kind of trauma that she had after Adam defeated her. And I think it would be that Iroh would teach her to, like, harness that anger and, the anger isn't what makes your power. You are what make your power, not your emotions or your anger, I think he would teach her to really harness that semblance and that inner fire she has and just kind of make it use for herself, use it more for herself, like in a small bursts, or even, like, teach her, obviously she can't do firebending, but definitely, like, some techniques to, like, calm down or something like that. And also, whenever Yang blows up in Iroh's face, he would just be like, just get it out of your system. Yeah, I don't care. Like, that would be the thing, is that Yang, I think, would, like, just get angry or, get sick of drinking tea or whatever, just storm out, but after letting Iroh's words set in, she would just come walking back in and be like, sorry, let's go again, Sensei. So, Iroh, I think, would be a good one for Yang. So let's move on now to Weiss. Who would be Weiss's teacher? Now, Weiss's teacher, I think, would be someone who could, teach her how to manipulate her summons, or someone who could teach her in more close combat, because Yang's real superpower is never winning a single fight on her own. So I think what it would be kind of fun is to have Weiss learn some more, like, hand-to-hand combat in case she ever loses her rapier, or, like, more sword training. Someone who could teach her outside of the box. Someone who like, doesn't have the Schnee fighting style, like, just drilled into your head and be predictable. And that teacher is none other than Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Sub-Zero would be an excellent teacher for Weiss. He would definitely drill her into the ground. Not that kind of way, not get your head out of the gutter, but he would just, like, constantly train her physically and mentally, teaching her how to use the summons. Also, he would be like, your dust, it could be your weakness. It's your semblance, but also, you also have that kind of weakness to you as well. So, you know, I'm going to teach you to fight physically like your friend Yang or Blake, but however, I am going to teach you how to, you know, how to harness your summons and depend more on yourself. So Whis would learn new kind of like style. I think that she would benefit the most from Sub-Zero, in that, you know, I don't have to constantly use my semblance to instantly summon who the fuck ever. And also, I can depend more on myself rather than just be a support character, because let's be fucking real, Whis is kind of getting into the support character role more and more. So Whis would Weiss would definitely... Why do I keep saying Whis? Weiss! Ugh. I kept saying Whis. Weiss! God damn it! Weiss, Weiss would definitely learn a lot from Sub-Zero, and again, he would not take any of her shit. And also, I think it'd be kind of fun, like Sub-Zero would be at first a little hesitant because of his failure with Frost, but he'd be like, no, you're not Frost, you are someone better, you know, you are someone who's overcome great hardship and whatever, and I'm gonna take you under my wing. So that's how I kind of see it with Weiss and Sub-Zero. And then finally we come to Blake, and Blake's teacher... I think Blake's teacher would have to be someone who could teach her like deeper into the ninjutsu style or fighting harder. And the teacher I thought in mind is, well, I think she would have a lot to learn from Elektra, from of course Marvel Comics. I think she would have a lot to learn from Elektra Nachios. You know, obviously dealing with trauma from dealing with lovers who you thought were good, or because aside from Daredevil, she's had some other men in her life that were not great. So definitely I could see that. I could also see that much like Sub-Zero, Blake would just have just training day in and day out, because that woman was trained by the Hand, and the Hand is not the most forgiving teachers. So Elektra would be like, okay, Blake, you're going to learn from me. You're going to suffer. So that's how I see it, is that Elektra would just, you know, definitely... She would also teach her to be like, hey, you know, that semblance you have of the whole shadow clone thing. That's fun, that's a nice little trick, but, you know, what happens when you run out of clones? You can fight, but the thing is that you depend too much on your weapons, you know. I have my size, but my hands are way more lethal. So that's how I kind of see it, is that, she would definitely kind of lend those kind of skills to Blake as well. As for other characters, I would say, like, a few other characters I could see getting teachers, like Adam. Adam would probably learn a lot from Darth Maul. Obviously, you know, he could, like, Maul would teach Adam to, like, harness that rage and focus it, you know, focus it into his blade, or give him some more sword-style practice, or something like that. Cinder would probably, her teacher would probably be like someone like Queen Beryl from Sailor Moon. But yeah. Neo would probably have, I don't know, like Neo would probably learn some new tricks from probably, I'd say the best teacher for Neo would probably be Taskmaster or Deathstroke. Someone like that. But anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what RWBY characters do you think would have, which teachers from any medium would be good teachers for RWBY? Just comment below, let me know. Also, like I said, I don't think I'll be doing this like a lot, but whenever I think of it, so please don't send requests in the comments below. It really drives me nuts because I like to think of stuff on my own. Not to be a dick or anything, but that's just how I function. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.